I'm John Pass. I'm the COO of Magic Mountain. Responsibilities right across the business, from finance, legals, but kind of what we're speaking about here today, complete control over our technology development and QA. So what QAwerk did really well was from the very outset, they talked with me, they talked with Katie, they talked with the rest of the wider business. So it wasn't just like functionality, if I press this button, does this work? It was also, well, does this feel right? And actually very proactive, going off the testing scripts to say, actually, we've tested this, and yes, looking at your test script, this works exactly as it should, but it just doesn't feel right. And here are the reasons why that is. Here's some suggestions about how we might look at making it better. And that just massively accelerated our development process and actually gave us a much better product at the end. What results? Great growth. Let's be honest. We had a target. We've had an MVP out for sort of 6 to 12 months now. We knew we had to take a step up. We knew that involved investment in both developers and QAwerk. We have moved from a completely free a completely free, simplistic version of the app 12 months ago to now being a premium, subscription ready in both app stores with, our crash logs have gone down, I think something about 40 or 50% since we've been using QAwerk. And we're growing subscribers, right? We always knew that when you go from a free model to a subscription model, you lose a lot of your users, but actually we've seen growth beyond what we could have expected. So that is, yes, down to obviously the product, but as I mentioned before, that is down to the fact that the app works, it doesn't crash. And that's all through the very, very thorough testing that QAwerk did and are still doing with us. So as I said, I've worked with quite a few QA agencies in my time. And I would say the biggest differentiator of QAwerk was their proactivity and their communication. Lots and lots of QA engineers and QA teams I've worked with do an incredible job of taking a testing script, reading it, testing it across multiple devices, platforms, and writing very detailed steps to reproduce and issues when they arise. And that's great. And it does a very good it's a very good job of just making sure that functionally and technically your product works. What QAwerk did that I was really pleased with is as well as that, they really embedded themselves in the team. It wasn't like we had a QA testing team and we had the Magic Mountain team. It was one team working together. And as well as the technical, yes, this does what it should do, they stood up and said, actually, yeah, it does, but I've been playing around with this and I don't think that this user flow works that well, or I don't think this button's in the right place. Here's the reasons why I think that is. And proactively came back to us, the business, to say, I think we should change your designs, or I think this user flow needs to be tweaked, or actually, have you thought about this as an additional feature? Now, for me, that goes from being, a QA testing team into the development and design team, and all of that is just absolute value add. The communication was incredible from very early stages when we met with the team. Very, very proactive in discussing with us what the costing would be, very open about the cost model, very open about who they're bringing on and what the skills were of those people. And then, on the project, our PM, Christina, was fantastic, continually gave us great feedback throughout. And the testing team, we had, due to world circumstances, which I think QAwerk did fantastically to continue working through, by the way. We had not many, but a small revolving number of testers. Everyone, when they arrived, knew what the product was. They met with us, they instantly landed in the team. And we were just really happy to have them as team members, not as a kind of outsourced service. It definitely didn't feel that way. Yeah, I mean, I recommend QAwerk to everyone I meet at the moment. Anyone who is in the process of either starting a startup or actually has a kind of mature technology team already in place, even if they've got an existing kind of QA team or outsourcing relationship set up, I've suggested to come and have a chat with QAwerk. I think they're fantastic. And like I said, especially for a startup, when you're, at times you're kind of learning as you go, the kind of skills and nature that the QAwerk team brought, it just was super helpful to us. And I think it would be for anyone else. I think, the ability to bring people on, their ability to scale as we grew, we went from kind of 1 tester up to 4 testers in a matter of weeks. It was just brilliant. So I would think if you're a startup and, QA might feel like it's an expense you can't afford to start with, but I would say it's a false economy. Yes, it costs money, but actually not a lot of money, and not a lot of money compared to how much development costs if you get it wrong the first time around. And likewise, if you've got a mature kind of technology capability already, I think it's worth having a conversation with QAwerk, because, as I said, they, in my opinion, went from being a QA team, but brought so much more, well above the kind of, the cost, and the benefit to us was incredible.